join the conversation. You can reach the guys at 754-800-TAT, 754-800-2428, on Twitter at Taxi Stand Hour. From a payphone, call collect.
So most people have a fear of acquiring the virus. I think a good way of doing it is to imagine that you do have the virus, yeah, and change your behaviour so that you're not transmitting it. Don't think about changing the behaviour so you won't get it. Think about changing your behaviour so you don't give it to somebody.
Hey, this is great. You found the Taxi Stand Hour on Radio TFI.
Well, you didn't tell me to expect that. Well, howdy. How's everybody doing? You know, can I tell you something? It's Sunday. It's November 22nd, and it is still the year 2020. And you are indeed listening to the Taxi Stand Hour on Radio TFI and on the Radio TFI video streaming network from the Northern Command Studio in Eagan, Minnesota, where I'm trying to multitask here unsuccessfully. I'm John Shannon, and from Queens, New York, in the Radio TFI executive tower, where I'm sure the sun is gleaming off the top of that baby. Yeah, it's probably gleaming even more than the shine on your head, yes. It is Mr. Ed Van Ness. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, kids and kittens, and welcome to this pre-gobble day, pre-turkey day extravaganza. We're glad you're here. It is Sunday. We now have also figured out which video we're supposed to play on Sunday. We just will remove the old one. That was an old one. There was a little technical glitch there, but we got new and exciting stuff that we want to talk about today. We're glad you're here with us. Bundle up, sit tight, you're home with your loved ones, wear a mask, wash your mask, wear your hands, whatever it is you got to do. And we got football picks today. We got all of that good stuff. John Shannon, how are you today, sir?
I'm about as good as can be expected. Working my ass off this week, though, I might say.
By the way, before we get too much further, that strange voice, that unfamiliar voice, well, the strange is up to the, that belonged to, John, why don't you tell us who that voice belonged to?
That is an old friend of mine by the name of Chris Murphy, who has joined, at least for the time being, has joined the Radio TFI promotions crew here, lending his wonderful voice here to our, to freshen things up a little bit here in this when it comes to lead-ins and the like. So
we're gonna talk more about it in an hour or two, but we want to say a big thank you to Chris Murphy of WMAY in Springfield, Illinois.
Springfield, Illinois, yes, indeed. And by the way, because I know you're listening, I can see you listening. right through. I can see you. I can see you. There you are. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Rolando. How you doing?
Like romper room with the magic mirror.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see Rolando, and I can see Shannon, and I can see Timmy, and I can. Timmy!
Yeah. But anyways, we need a few more people like you. I mean, yeah, it's nice having radio professionals, but
absolutely loan your voice. We'll get into all that later on, but station IDs. That's what we want for Christmas. Station IDs.
We just want to have one big happy family here.
I tell you what.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this to you off. You know what? Let's do the stock report first. And I got something that we need to talk about.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Radio TFI Market Watch Center, it is your stock report. Uber closed the week at $48.43, up a mere 82 cents from last week. Meanwhile, Lyft closed the week at $38.10, up a piddling 56 cents from last week. This has been your stock market report from the Radio TFI Market Center.
I find it kind of troubling there that we haven't been able to gleefully announce a drop in the last 3 weeks here.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Last week they both jumped by like $7 a piece. Now the jump is under $1. Believe me, it's falling. Gravity has grabbed the hold. There was the election, Prop 22. People think it's going to be a wonderful thing. They all jumped on it, and now it's going to fall back to earth. Look, they send up weather balloons, the most high-tech polymer weather balloons you can imagine. They still going to bust at 10,000 feet or 100,000 feet. They're still going to break. Doesn't matter how good of a balloon you have. And these stocks are the same thing. So now that we've the other thing I want to get right off to ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we just want to congratulate Beck Taxi. They won first place for Best Taxi Company in the Scarborough Mirror Reader's Choice Awards for 2020. This came from Christine Hubbard, Queen of All Hacks. She thanked the Scarborough friends and congratulations to all of their amazing drivers and staff. And we want to say a big to Beck Taxi. Just the best. And with a leader like that, how can you go wrong? Now, before we get into anything else, you may not be aware, John, we got scolded by YouTube last week.
We did.
I'm going to have to start. We're going to have to get you on these emails.
You probably should. Yeah.
Yeah. We got scolded.
Oh, what did they promise to take away our candy?
I think it was something like that. We apparently we had a copyright violation. We only played about parts of 8 or 9 or 10 songs last week, so I don't understand what the big to do is.
Well, then what I don't understand, to be brutally honest with you, with YouTube, I don't understand is you can go onto YouTube at any given time, and Joe Schmo can play his copy of whatever song. You can find any song you want on YouTube, and I don't see any copyright whatsoever or anything on any of that stuff. To be brutally honest with you, I'm about 2 shakes away from saying to hell with YouTube. We're not getting any kind of the listenership that I had wanted to get out of that by any stretch. Maybe we get 1 or 2 views on it and whatnot, but I've been kind of thinking about wanting to dump it, but we'll cross that bridge later. I'll wait and see how they treat us here in the future.
You know what? We'll just wait till they throw us out.
Well, there you go. There's always that too.
What does it cost us but to push a button? Well, for you to push the button. By the way, I don't push the button to put us out on Facebook or YouTube. I just frankly have nothing to do with that. I put us out on Twitter. That's my job. But I keep there. You will not find Ed's fingerprints anywhere on the recording or the broadcast up and down the network, other than the Twitter. I'm still trying to figure out how to get us to broadcast directly to our website, and once I figure that out without having to spend about $1,000, then that's what we'll be doing. But until such time,
let me just so you can. Most radio stations now, when they do what we're doing right now, where we're broadcasting our feed, that eventually goes over Radio TFI. But most of them are using Facebook pages.
Some.
I know WCCO is doing it that way. I know about 3 or 4 other stations here in the Twin Cities market that all do it that way. They go through Facebook pages. It seems to be the cleanest format, believe it or not. You don't have the delay like you have on YouTube. And
well, there's also various apps out there. I'll give you an example, which I just started doing this week. Now, I don't know if I've talked about it on air, but I know, John, I've told you how I've lost not 1, not 2, but 3 radio antennas on my vehicle, on my personal vehicle, since I've had it. So I've given up on that. So I tried to, through a process of elimination, I found a nice free app, radio.com. And yes. I can listen to, listen to the news stations or, whatever, on my way in to my very, very hard job. And No, I didn't mean anything by that if anybody's listening. Oh, no. Love my job. Love my job. But it's at no cost. And so since I have unlimited data, it's just, I just let it plug in connect with my Bluetooth through my audio system. And it's just like having the radio on.
Around the Stone Guy, nothing but net.
So,
Oh, God. You mean I stumped you with an old commercial?
it might have been a regional commercial. It took a second. Okay. All right. Up the side of the building, through the window.
Uh-huh.
One bounce, nothing but net. That's an actual one. That's a real one. But so anyway, I've started using the app, and it's not just Facebook, but most of them are on some kind of app or another. I was very disappointed in my little trials this week to get myself situated radio wise in the vehicle. To find out that WABC 77 Talk Radio, which used to be one of the greatest radio stations on the planet, WABC Music Radio 77, WABC, 500 million watts of power broadcasting. They were on a clear channel. What was it? WABC could be heard in, I think it was close to 40 states at night. It broadcast. And so they went to talk many, many years ago because music on AM, it just wasn't happening anymore. But I hadn't listened in a while. And I tuned it in one night last week, and I got caught up with this. There's this Mark Levin character.
Oh, Jesus.
So I'm thinking, okay, they're playing him overnight, blah, blah, blah. So the next day, I still had it tuned in on the app, and let's listen. Actually, I had it a year ago, so this change I'm about to mention must have just happened. They had their own app, and now they're they're wall-to-wall Fox. It's nothing but conservative radio. I was like, oh, what a shame.
Let's see. The usual suspects, Beck, Hannity.
Don't know.
Limbaugh.
Just listening to the bumpers, just listening to the promos. WABC, New York's conservative, Fox, that. I heard Fox, I heard conservative. I went click. Well, not literally click, but
Tapping out.
Tapping out. Yeah, there you go, John. Good one. John got one in. That's and it's a good thing too, because we're coming to the end of the year. You almost missed.
Yeah,
You almost would have gone the whole year without getting one in, but good for you, buddy. Good for you. So anyway, that was part of my dilemma this week, but I resolved that.
Yeah, WCCO here in Minneapolis uses radio.com as well.
Okay, there you go. I'm not saying that the stations that I'm listening to, WINS 1010 Wins News Time, is traffic on the 10s, and that goes back to when I was a kid. They were doing the same. Spiel.
Same spiel. Yeah, exactly. WCCO still does a lot of the same things I remember from childhood. Even they still refer themselves to as the good neighbor.
Yeah.
They're another clear channel.
Clear channel. Where are they on the dial?
830.
Is that a clear channel?
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay.
It's they got quite the blowtorch. 50,000 whatever.
50,000 watts of power. That's the max. That's the max is 50,000 watts.
So you can't hear them down on Lake Street sometimes, but you can hear them in Minot, North Dakota. So go figure.
That's in the daytime.
Yeah.
It all depends on the atmospheric conditions.
Right.
Okay. I was once in Ohio, heading to Minnesota, coincidentally, heading to the beautiful Twin Cities in a vehicle. And it was at night. It was like September. It must have been October, or maybe it was later in the spring, because I was listening to New York Rangers hockey out of New York in Ohio. Actually, I was in such a place. I was picking up stations from all over the country It was fantastic. What a great night. What a great night that was. But all right, I think we beat the living hell out of the first 15 minutes.
Oh yes, we did.
Yeah, we did. And we didn't say anything of any substance.
What makes you think we say anything of substance?
Shh. Sometimes we can fool them.
I know.
Remember, when you can't dazzle them with brilliance, you baffle them with bullshit.
Exactly. I didn't get to the messages here right away, and
go right ahead.
Well, Shannon Tim, who we mentioned several times, as a matter of fact.
Shannon, we want a station ID from you. Come on.
Yes, exactly. We want your voice. Now, Shannon, right now, as I understand, might be battling. I know that she's having symptoms of the COVID. I'm not 100% clear if she actually has it or not, but she is battling some symptoms. So we want her to get well soon here. But yeah, when you get well, when you're feeling froggy again, you're one of those folks. We want your voice there, my dear.
Unless of course you got that nice raspy cold voice, then we want that too.
Oh, hey, now that would be kind of cool.
You found Radio TFI.
Ooh, that's just creepy. That is just creepy. What do you say we get to some actual substantive topics here, huh?
Why start now?
Well, that's you do have a point.
So I had a moment this week. Well, as we all know, by the way, this morning I read that Trump is now demanding a third recount in Georgia, which means Biden's going to win there 3 times. I mean,
so tired of winning.
He was right. We are tired of winning. Let's just move on. All right. Pennsylvania is a done. I mean, it's all a done deal. Let's look. He's obviously trying to. By the way, did you watch Rudy this week?
Oh, you mean when he was having his little meltdown or whatever that was off of his hair?
Yes.
Oh my God, that was a wonderful cartoon, by the way. Political jab at him melting.
I think we have something. Oh yeah, we got a whole thing. We got a very interesting promo this week, I must say.
Yes, indeed.
We got Rudy. We got John McCain. And I used little Donnie for you this week.
I appreciate it. He's always fun to look at.
Actually, I had to replace the artist's original version of Trump in that. With little Donnie. And of course, we've got our Thanksgiving turkey wearing his T-shirt that says "Eat beef."
Eat beef, yes.
That's as your favorite Radio TFI personalities plead for your favorite Radio TFI turkeys plead for their pardon this week.
Well, I hate to say it, I think you and I are the Radio TFI turkeys.
Gobble gobble.
Yeah, there you go.
So anyway, back to the turkey in chief. Apparently Trump was going to pardon the turkey this year, but then the turkey got Giuliani as a lawyer, and that was too easy. That's low.
Yeah, exactly.
That was just too easy. But I watched this Jenna Ellis person. I've watched her a number of times over the past few weeks, and she is an expert at just talking over people. She actually, to her credit, appeared on Bill Maher's show last week, and Maher was very, very gracious with her. He says, "Look, I appreciate you coming on. It's you're coming into the lion's den, et cetera, et cetera." And then she, of course, she went right into, her BS act, and he did his best to try to have a decent conversation with her, but she just kept steamrolling. He was being polite as far as not trying to. He held back. Let me put it this way: he held back.
What is her official position? Does she have?
I believe she's the one of the Trump attorneys. But then again, that's an easy job to get. You and I could be one of the Trump attorneys. It's everybody else has quit. She's a lawyer, and let's see, what else does she do? She's a legal advisor to Trump, and in 2016, she called him an idiot. So you got that going for you.
Yeah, well, when you're getting $1 million paychecks, you have a tendency to soften your tone just a little bit.
You don't think Trump's paying anybody anything now, do you?
Well, that's a good point, I guess.
Remember, we know he owes somebody $400 million.
How do you like? Okay, well, go ahead and let's go ahead and play this. You got a bit here with
Jen. Well, there's a personality called Heather G, who very funny. She puts out these videos, and you're gonna on this little clip, you're gonna hear Jenna Ellis first, and then Heather's gonna come on and talk about it.
President Trump has been saying from day one, this is about maintaining free and fair elections.
I mean, you can say that all you want, Jenna, but we don't believe you. See, Trump didn't care about legitimate elections when he brushed off Russian interference in 2016. He sided with Putin on that one. Didn't seem to care when the Russians tried the same in 2020. No, he tried to make sure we'd never hear about that by blocking the intelligence. Did Trump have legitimate elections in mind when he called up the president of Ukraine demanding dirt on Joe Biden? How about when he dismantled the Postal Service to slow down mail-in ballots? Or when he claimed victory before all the votes were counted? You don't get to pretend that Trump is some patriot for American democracy now, especially since the exhausting, baseless cries of fraud are damaging what legitimacy we have left. Jenna, I mean this with all sincerity. Shut the up.
And take us into the take us into the never reaches. I'm getting called from work here real quick.
All right, so John, not knowing enough to turn off his phone during the program. So that was Jenna Ellis. Earlier in the week, I actually started. I felt good about Geraldo Rivera. Geraldo was on the Fox program The Five, where they do whatever it is they do. And he actually got into a bit of a debate with Jesse Waters, that waste of space, who started out as a features reporter. He was doing goofball stuff on Fox. But let me play this clip of Geraldo, and we'll talk about it on the other side. But I was actually feeling, and believe me, I've been aware of Geraldo Rivera since his Willowbrook days back on WABC TV here in New York back in the late 60s, early 70s.
I mean, really?
Come on,
Geraldo. The Clinton Foundation, George Soros, Hugo Chavez. I'm probably the only person in this building I've actually met Hugo Chavez.
That doesn't count as evidence. Meeting him.
Hugo Chavez couldn't make the red lights work in Venezuela.
I talked about the sworn affidavit.
And an international conspiracy. Why not Elvis? You know,
I didn't mention anything like that. I'm talking sworn affidavit. You're a lawyer. You're a lawyer. As a lawyer, you should recognize the validity of the president.
I wanted him to win this election. What I saw with Rudy Giuliani, who I've known for decades, was bizarre. It was unfocused. There was conspiracy theory, this and that. When you have evidence that you suggest, what's the lawsuit that evidence attaches to? What's the action? You can't go to a court and say, it's fraud. Judge, prove it for me. Or is the FBI to prove it for me?
They have three pending lawsuits right now in three different states that they're going to submit this evidence.
They drop Michigan.
And then there's going to be a judge that's going to rule on the evidence.
We're giving false hope.
Geraldo, you as an American should want everybody to be confident in the results of the election.
False hope.
And if you don't pursue these fraud allegations, half the country is going to feel like it was crooked. You don't want that, and
So here I am feeling good about Geraldo. This is the other day he's talking about the Giuliani sweat fest. So I'm feeling real good about Geraldo. And this is like, all right, Geraldo, it's nice to see somebody on that network showing a pair and just seeing it for what it is. Okay, enough is enough. There's nothing there. And I think he laid out a very excellent case there. And then the next day there was this.
Earlier, I think I had an idea, when with the world so divided and everybody, telling him he's got to give up and time to leave and time to transition and all the rest of it. Why not name the vaccine the Trump? Make it like, have you gotten your Trump yet? No, it'd be a nice gesture to him. And years from now, it would become just a kind of a generic name. Have you got your Trump yet? Oh, yeah, I got my Trump. I'm fine. I wish we could honor him in that way, because he is definitely the prime architect of this Operation Warp Speed. And but for him, we'd still be waiting, into the grim winter for these amazing, miraculous medical breakthroughs.
So let's talk about.
And so Geraldo slid back down into the garbage pit that is Fox News, and dashed any hopes I had of him remaining a reasonable voice. He slipped right back into it. Let's name the virus after Trump. How about that?
Well, I was going to say he's already had something named after him. I think that's what when they were saying, "Have you had the Trump yet?" They were referring to STDs, but
hey now, he went there. My goodness gracious, Murray. So what? Just to finish,
Pfizer didn't even. No. They were apolitical in their work. So
they took they took the guarantee that they'll get the money for the distribution and all that.
Of course.
But the fact that people are going, "Oh, Trump masterminded this," he couldn't mastermind tying his shoes.
Doesn't he wear slip-ons?
I don't want to get into it. Our last piece of video this week, audio, excuse me, is my favorite. Press Secretary Barbie.
Oh, I love hearing her voice. Oh,
she's a little hottie. Don't misunderstand me. That being said, listen to her as she goes on about hard we made it for Trump during his transition period.
Oh.
And then listen to who comes on immediately after her too. Well, just listen.
Something that I would note is just we talked a lot about transfer of power in the election, and it's worth remembering that this president was never given an orderly transition of power.
Every 4 years, we gather on these steps to carry out the orderly and peaceful transfer of power. And we are grateful to President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama for their gracious aid throughout this transition. They have been magnificent. Thank you.
Probably the only time he has said anything nice about the Obamas in public.
One of the only times he's ever told the truth.
Well, there's that too. But that was his inauguration. So, and by the way, Hillary conceded the day after. Obama had him at the White House the day after that. She conceded the day after the election. Trump was at the White House at Obama's invitation 2 days after the election. Mm-hmm. And it's just unfortunate that this woman, look, everybody in that administration, I don't know what any of them are going to do after this. The only two who are probably really set up are Stephen Miller and Steve Mnuchin, who have been there for the whole ride. Mnuchin in charge of the Treasury. Oh, I'm sure he's got a truckload full of printed dollar bills.
And of course, that was at I think one of her first press conferences where you picked that last.
It had been 50 days.
Mm-hmm.
She took 5.
There was something else. There was something else in there too. You should hear.
When are you going to admit your law? When are you going to admit your law?
Yep.
She kind of breezed over that one though.
She was walking out of the room.
Yes, she was.
Same thing when Trump came out later that day or whatever it was. Took no questions. Pence is taking no questions. And basically, there's always somebody yelling, when are you going to admit you lost, or something to that effect. Mm-hmm. And they're not. They're not. Don't be surprised if Trump, remember, Trump has a plane and a passport right now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be surprised if during the inauguration he's on a plane heading to Venezuela or, wherever he winds up, wherever it will take him. Because it was announced today, the Attorney General of the state of New York, Letta James, has said she has 67 indictments ready to go January 21st, the day after the inauguration.
That's why he wants to stay within the confines of the White House grounds.
Oh, no question. That's why he's desperate to, because he's got, as president, he can't be attacked. They can't file his stuff. But once 12 noon, January 20th, see ya.
Well, and I hope they find a jumpsuit that matches his skin tone. That's all
Well, yeah. But actually, they based the color of the jumpsuits on his skin tone. The good news for those of us here in New York City, we ain't never going to see him again. He's never going to set foot in this town again.
Yeah.
He may come back before the inauguration just to clean out the apartment.
He ain't coming to clean anything. He's got minions for that.
You know what I mean? He might make one stop back here before Inauguration Day. Boy, I got to get a new desk.
Jesus. I'm getting seasick just watching it shake here while you're.
Yeah, me
while
too.
You're going here.
But
What you got? Do you have anything else on Trump's imminent departure here?
Nothing
as they drag him out kicking and screaming.
Nothing prepared. Why? What do you got there, Skippy?
Oh, I've got a few things. I just wanted to. We should probably run a little bit into the COVID here. Of course, here. Why is it South Dakota? So I saw a story here.
Before you go any further, why do we need 2 Dakotas?
But don't ask me. I
just put it out there. It's got nothing to do with anything. But why do we need 2?
So, yeah, that's a good question. It really is. But yeah, well, North Dakota has just a tad bit more common sense than South Dakota. Of course, South Dakota, home of Sturgis.
Mm-hmm.
As I was reading, I think I saw this here. Yeah, 86 COVID cases in Minnesota were tied to the attendance of the Sturgis motorcycle rally.
How about that?
So, thanks, assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Now I realize, I realize that 86 in the grand scheme of things is probably a low number, but I get tired of the whole statistics game when it comes to this. People are getting sick. People are dying.
That's right.
And if you knew this was happening, if you knew that your actions could prevent one person from dying, don't you think for the cost of putting a piece of cloth on your mouth, you might be doing a favor, maybe doing yourself a favor, maybe you have crooked teeth, maybe you have bad breath, you might be saving the world that way too.
You don't have to shave.
Yeah, you don't have to shave, exactly. But no. So of all people, the CEO of Sanford Health, big here in Minnesota. So he's saying he doesn't have to wear a mask as a symbolic gesture because he has already had the COVID. So yeah, it would be just a symbolic gesture. His name is Kelby Krabenhoff. Jeez.
Here's a symbolic gesture for you. Read between the lines.
Pretty much.
I'm going to stop you right there because I want to say this. Okay, fine. Maybe you've had the COVID. Maybe that you can't be infected again anytime soon. When I'm bopping down the street or sitting next to you on the airplane, I don't know that. And I got news for you. I'm not about to believe you. Just because you say it so. If I meet you on the street, go ahead, John. I was about to go on to a rant there.
Well, that's okay. And the thing of it is, too, is he still has symptoms. He has lagging coughs and fatigue.
Mm.
So he isn't totally out of. I mean, he's obviously not going to die on us, but he still. I think, if for what little I know of this, he could still wind up spreading the virus. As long as he's coughing, as long as he is actually putting out those little out there, he could still be spreading.
That's right. By the way, you know who else has won the COVID-19 sweepstakes?
Oh, well, of course, it would be none other than young Mr. Donnie Jr.
Well, there's him. There's Giuliani's son.
Oh, that's right.
There's Rick Scott, former governor, current nitwit senator of my former home state, Florida, and Kelly Loeffler, of senator from Georgia.
Oh, that's right. I just saw that too.
Now, bear in mind, she made a buttload of money recently or earlier in the year, when because of the information she's able to get, she sold a bunch of stocks. Or bought a bunch of anyway. She made some kind of maneuver that made her millions. It was in regard to companies that make PPE and that kind of thing. I don't have the full details, but she's basically a piece of turd, and she's another one that wasn't elected. She was she married her billionaire husband, and basically she bought the seat. So she's got it. So let's keep going on about how it's a hoax and how you don't have to wear a mask and all this. And but it was fun to see Don Jr. got it. So, go sit on a log someplace. Go sit on a stump someplace, Stumpy. John can't hear you. Oh, John's doing mime radio now.
I like that. I think it actually sounded better.
We're going to do that one day. We're just going to do mime radio. We're not going to do a video broadcast, just mime radio.
I was going to say, if it winds up becoming on video, this is going to be the only thing we're going to be.
Now see, there's a way to do that, John. You remember, we have an audience here that's, we want to be a class show, class with a capital K. Or if you're a Republican, class with a capital KKK.
KKK.
I put that out on Twitter someplace. I was replying to something and I got a bunch of likes on it. So that's.
So you figure you fish it out there again? Is that the deal?
Or just dig it right out of the old bucket there and let's throw it up.
Like I was trying to say while I had myself muted, was HUD Secretary Ben Carson. You remember him?
Oh, poor Ben.
Another one had come down. Apparently, he said he was desperately ill. And he also he's saying he believes he's out of the woods now. But he was another one that was
a brain surgeon. Remember, he's a brain surgeon.
Yeah, well, he's obviously not a rocket scientist, though.
Not a rocket scientist, but a brain surgeon, which questions everything I ever thought about brain surgeons.
Just keep them away from you.
Yeah. You're not making any friends here, John. First off, you pulled the plug on the night show with no notice. Let's talk about that. What do you say? So I'm sitting here the other night.
Later.
Later. Oh, we're going to do it later.
Okay.
Later. But we're going to do it. For those of you that were big fans of the night show, I apologize for my part in it, but I always said it was going to be temporary until I went back to work. John insisted on keeping it going. John Shannon.
Yeah, and
then just like that, he just.
So it's sad that what bothers me is that there are people who are still getting the COVID who are taking precautions. So let's face it, wearing a mask, I will be the first one to admit this, wearing a mask is no guarantee that you're not going to, you're not going to get the COVID, but it sure as hell anything you can do to, you can be the best driver in the world and some chuckle butt can still sideswipe you or T-bone you or whatever running a red light. So, I mean, unfortunately, it does happen because there's going to be people out there say, well, I wore a mask, I did this and this, and I still got the COVID. Well, maybe it caught you at one point in time. You were someplace, you had a slip, you pulled your mask down for whatever reason, whatnot. Yeah, unfortunately, this virus is a bitch, an unforgiving bitch at that. And
what you said. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So 754-800-CHAT, 754-800-2428. I don't care if you do just have a raspy voice. We'd love to hear from you here.
We want to hear from you.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. We do want to hear from you.
I feel like half of Harvey Fierstein.
So what else you got there?
Well, let's talk about, while we're still on the COVID thingy, and I'm still trying to center myself in my Hollywood Squares box here. Wally Cox for the block, please. Charlie Weaver to win. Believe it or not, that's going to lead us into something in hour two. I'll leave it to the kind listener to make that connection. There's talk that we may need to do another 4 to 6 week lockdown.
We're in the middle of one right now.
Who?
Minnesota.
We're talking about a nationwide lockdown.
Yeah.
See, I firmly believe we need to do what should have been done back in April and March. Everybody needs to do the same thing. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt for a short amount of time. It's like getting a needle. It sucks. It's like having a root canal. It sucks while it's going on. Nobody wants to do it. But if we want to beat this, my God, there's countries all over the world that have little or no trace of this virus anymore. Meanwhile, we're just it's running rampant in this country. Do I want to do it? No. Do we need to do it? I believe we do. And the problem we've had, first off, when we first did it back in March, we didn't know as much as we know now. Second of all, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids and kittens of all ages, this is not a political thing. Okay?
Yeah, the election's over.
Yeah, the election's over, so it doesn't matter anymore. All right? Trump doesn't care whether you live or die now that the election's over. He only needed you breathing to vote. Okay, to keep his sorry orange ass out of jail. That being said, forget him. We have, like John was saying, what would you do if you knew you could save one person's life by simply taking a piece of material and placing it over your mouth and nose? If somebody was holding a gun on a 12-year-old girl and they said, you'll save her life by putting on this mask, wouldn't you do that? Would you not do that? Would you even hesitate? Would you even hesitate? No, of course you wouldn't. I'd like to think you wouldn't.
Exactly.
And so, again, do we want to do this? No. We got to get our government off its ass. Mitch McConnell, I'm sorry, he's by the way, let's get back to this point for a second, which a lot of people are kind of missing. So all these ballots for Biden were fraud, and they were faked, and they were blah, blah, blah. But yet on the same ballot, people voted for Republicans for senators and down ballot. But those are okay. It's just the top of the ticket that you're having the problem with. I got news for you, kids and kittens. If it says Biden on if they voted for Biden and the rest of the ticket Republicans, and you think any part of that ballot is invalid, then the whole thing's invalid. So sure. All right. In your world, Trump will be president, but guess what? McConnell's out. Graham is out. All of his buddies are out. Martha McSally's out anyway. So, you can't have it both ways. It can't be, well, part of it's okay, but the other part isn't. You're just reaching here. But let's get our act together. Countries like Taiwan, Vietnam, New Zealand, Australia, if they've eliminated, yes, they still have protocols that they follow, but they're not shut down. People are wearing a mask when they're outside, but they can go into a restaurant and eat. And again, there's certain things that they're abiding by to make sure, because as long as this disease is out there, there's still a chance it can come back to their country. It is an embarrassment, a total embarrassment that we, the most technologically advanced country in the world, we can't get our people to put a piece of cloth over their face. Oh, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Bullshit.
It's the most difficult damn thing to deal with, especially here with me and my compromised condition, if you will say, the fact that I still am about 35 pounds overweight, the fact that I'm still kind of recovering, and yet I've got this mask on trying to walk through a super Walmart, and it's not fun. It's not easy to do. So, but guess what? If my selfish, sorry ass can do it, anybody can do it. There is no reason whatsoever. Just,
Speaking of the lockdown, I got some. Basically, I want to run off of one tweet here. Kevin Sorbo, he of Hercules fame,
okay,
syndicated series. He, I'm even going to give him the
mighty nice of you.
That's just who I am. Just who I am. I'm a mask wearing, tweeting kind of guy. So Kevin Sorbo at K Sorbs tweeted this: if the first lockdown worked, why do we need a second one? If the first lockdown didn't work, why do we need a second one? Just asking. Now, in an unusual move, I'm going to read three of the replies that I thought were very interesting. Bruce Bader, at Bruce Bader. The first lockdown was working. All we needed to do was wear a mask and we could open up and likely continue the decline. Unfortunately, individuals felt their quote-unquote freedom was being violated by wearing a mask. So now we have to lock down again to prevent further mass casualties. Well said there, Bruce. Well said there. D at Riley's D, Rileys, capital DI, responded to Mr. Sorbo with this: really? You have to ask? There was never a complete lockdown because of those who said, my body, my choice. 1 month is all it would take if everyone knuckled under. 1 month won't kill us, but the coronavirus could. Not everyone, but who are you willing to lose? Again.
Good point.
And finally, and certainly winning the award for my new favorite Twitter handle, you have United Not Divided, whose Twitter handle, I swear, is at Beer and Wine. That's 4 N's, capital B, capital E, capital E, capital R, small N, capital Wine. Beer and Wine.
Now, is that wine as in W-I-N-E or W-H-I-N-E?
W-I-N-E, beer and wine. Come on, let's beer and wine.
Well, I mean, it could put another twist. You never know.
So moving on, and this was their reply to Mr. Sorbo. The first lockdown did work. Remember, it was to give us time because there were no treatments, No vaccines, shortage of respirators, shortage of masks, PPE, and other medical supplies. Now we may have a shortage of medical staff also to handle so many sick people. Just saying. So, good responses. A legitimate question from Mr. Sorbo until he actually pays attention and opens his eyes to what's going on. I mean, we're not in the same position we were back in March. We know more, et cetera, et cetera. And honestly, I believe this is the ideal time to do a lockdown. Do it right after the holidays. Do it, everybody sits home the month of January. It's cold and freezing most places anyway. So, and it's true. Let's face it, you're not going to be able to go anywhere. How many people, here's the sad part. How many people are going to be in a hospital on, say, December 12th? Because they just had to go to Thanksgiving dinner this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, my Facebook friend Brian Wallenberg posted what he obviously thought was a cute meme from somebody showing our Minnesota Governor Walz on the outside looking in at somebody's Thanksgiving table, and says with the title "Minnesota at Thanksgiving." And I decided, well, and this is good for me. Just woke up and saw this. I decided to reply with a meme of my own, with a picture of actually it's the mass grave site that I saw. It was actually in New York, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was.
Which I titled "Utah the Day After Thanksgiving."
I got two more tweets here that go back to what we were talking about earlier, because I forgot I had them sitting here, but I don't want to. So Steve Hofstetter, at Steve Hofstetter, wrote this. Rudy Giuliani, referring back to the press, whatever it was, the meltdown the other day. Rudy Giuliani just tried to use a scene from My Cousin Vinny as evidence. If we're going to use movies as evidence, I recommend we start with the new Borat. Excellent, Steve. Excellent. And finally, from ProPublica, this is a news organization, I don't have who said the actual line. Again, referring to Trump's lawsuits and the fact that they've lost 33 out of 35. And the two they won were just like, okay, you can move up 10 feet in a vote counting center. Nothing. Quote, a lawsuit without provable facts showing a statutory or constitutional violation is just a tweet with a filing fee.
That's cute. I like that. Oh, by the way, Rolando, besides saying good morning, said we need a second stimulus for businesses and families during a lockdown.
Hey, Rolando, I got your stimulus. Oh! I couldn't resist.
Oh, my God. And he doesn't drink coffee either. That's
He does not. I saw a very good idea the other day. Pay people $1,500 to get the vaccine when it comes out. Not only does it, providing science is okay with the vaccine, okay? Because, yeah, that's right. I'm one of those. I'm not taking Trump's word for it. I wouldn't take his word on what day of the week it was. Or that, anyway. Give everybody $1,500 to take the test. Not only do you get people...
You mean the virus, or you mean the vaccine?
Not the vaccine, yes, thank you. Not only do you get people taking the vaccine, but now you stimulate the economy. But McConnell's not going to do that because he's a poo-poo head.
Nothing's going to get done now until the 20th.
No.
Let's just be realistic here. Trump is not going to push. Trump, you know what the sad part about this is? Trump still has roughly 2 months to
it's almost exactly 2 months, just shy of 2 months,
to try to redeem his miserable ass somehow. He still has a couple of months. Let's face it, we do have a short memory in this country. hell, we were looking fondly at Nixon there a few months before he died.
Yeah, we were.
So he has a chance. He has a chance. I would be, if I was in his position right now, instead of putting out a tweet every 6 hours in capital letters, this election's a hoax, whatever. Let's do something. Let's actually show the public that you're worth something. Because right now I wasn't going to vote for him regardless. There was no way I was going to vote for him at all. But now there is absolutely I don't give a damn if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris wind up being Attila the Hun 1 and 2. There is still no chance in hell that I would vote for Donald Trump, just because we see how he deals with adversity.
Which is not well.
No, not at all. Granted, Obama, he served his 2 terms, so it isn't like he knew his time was over. But Hillary didn't win the election. She was a hell of a lot more graceful than he was under the same circumstance.
Well, sure. Like I mentioned earlier, she conceded the day after, and the day after that, and Trump was at the White House at the invitation of President Obama. So
exactly. I love that. By the way, you stole my damn audio bit that I was going to roll out too.
Oh,
with Kaylee, and then Trump basically reputing it. I'm going to get you for that. Payback.
Okay. You produce what, one piece of audio every year?
I have another one coming here for hour number 2.
Ooh.
Hey, I tell you, I was on it today.
You're a crazy man. Stop it.
Right?
Next thing I'll be running with scissors. Oh my. You know what? Mom's always said, never play ball in the house. It's a Brady Bunch reference.
Okay.
Our Brady Bunch people will get that. That's
I can count on one hand the number of times I watched the Brady Bunch. I
am sitting here desperately trying to time up the break. You'll be able to keep talking. You just keep talking when you hear the music. Okay, it's coming up in less than a minute. I'm gonna be over here juggling, man. There's video and audio to juggle.
Well, even the best jugglers drop the ball every once in a while. So
I did that last week, and we're by the way, you'll have to mute yourself.
It's okay. I got it. No problem.
And you want to be around for the break, because what I'm playing is very special and very, very Thanksgiving-ish.
I appreciate that, but you know what happens to me right around break time.
You got a total of 4.5 minutes from the time the music starts.
The contract says 5, damn it. I'm telling you, the contract says 5. By the way, there are going to be a couple of things we're going to wind up doing here in hour number 2, let alone the fact that we still have that great segment known as John and Ed versus the Spread. God, I love that. I love that segment. And plus, there's actually a couple of other things pretty cool that we got going on here. So hang around here for hour number 2 of the Taxi Stand Hour on Radio TFI. See you on the other side.
TFI.
You found the Taxi Stand Hour.
The worst talk radio I've ever heard in my life.
On Radio TFI.
Join the conversation. You can reach the guys at 754-800-CHAT. 754-800-2428. On Twitter at Taxi Stand Hour. From a payphone, call collect.
So most people have a fear of acquiring the virus. I think a good way of doing it is to imagine that you do have the virus, yeah, and change your behavior so that you're not transmitting it. Don't think about changing your behavior so you won't get it. Think about changing your behavior so you don't give it to somebody else.
All right, fellow babies, and now it's time to go to our live remote man on the scene at the Pinedale Shopping Mall for the big WKRP turkey giveaway. So take it away, Les Nessman.
This is Les Nessman, your man on the scene here at the Pinedale Shopping Center where the excitement is mounting. We're here to witness the big WKRP Turkey Thanksgiving giveaway. I'm here with hundreds of people who have gathered to witness what has been described as perhaps the greatest turkey event in Thanksgiving Day history. All we know for sure is that in a very few moments there are going to be a lot of happy people out here. Now the crowd is curious but well behaved. And I think I hear something now. The crowd is moving out into the parking area. And, oh yes, I can see it now. It's a helicopter. And it's coming this way. It's flying something behind it. I can't quite make it out. It's a large banner. And it says, Happy Thanksgiving. From WKRP. What a sight, ladies and gentlemen. What a sight. The copter seems to be circling the parking area now. I guess it's looking for a place to land. No, something just came out of the back of the helicopter. It's a dark object. Perhaps a skydiver plummeting to the earth from only 2,000 feet into the air. Second to the third. There's no parachutes yet. Can't be skydivers. I can't tell just yet what they are, but... Oh, my God, they're turkeys! Oh, Johnny, can you get this? Oh, they're crashing to the earth right in front of our eyes! One just went through the windshield of a parked car! Johnny, this is terrible. The cars running around, pushing each other. Oh, my goodness! Oh, the humanity! Oh, people are running about. The turkeys are hitting the ground like sacks of wet cement. I don't know how much longer the crowd is running for their lives. I think I'm going to step inside. I can't stay out here and watch this any longer. No, I can't go in there. Children are searching for their mothers, and not since the Hindenburg tragedy has there been anything like this. I don't know how much longer I can hold my position here, Johnny. The crowd...
Les, are you there? Les isn't there. Thanks for that on-the-spot report, Les. For those of you who just tuned in, the Pinedale Shopping Mall has just been bombed with live turkey. Film at 11.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
Oh, no music or nothing after that? Jesus, that was so... So I don't even know what was the point of this this bit you played.
Well, since John was not around to listen to it, that was one of the most famous turkey scenes ever on TV from WKRP, the turkey drop.
Oh, okay. I will take your word for it.
Are you kidding me? It was a broadcast genius.
Okay, well, first off, you have to realize that that's another show. I think if I saw 2 episodes of it the entire time it was on, and that didn't do much in syndication either.
All right, Stinky. Well, it didn't do well in syndication because of the music rates. But long story, that's what it was. First off, tell the people who we are and why we're here and all that.
Well, as soon as I figure out who we are and why we're here, I'll be happy to.
Moving on.
You are listening to hour number 2 of the Taxi Stand Hour on Radio TFI. And once again, from the northern Command Studio in Eagan, Minnesota. I'm John Shannon from the Radio TFI Executive Tower. I heard he moved up so he could see above the cloud line over there or is that clouds or smog?
Clouds. We don't have smog.
Oh, no. Bullshit.
What's your language? And no, we don't. We do not have smog here.
Okay.
No, seriously.
Let me anyways, from the Radio TFI Executive Tower in Queens, New York, Mr. Ed Van Ness. Once again, good morning, sir.
Good morning, kids and kittens. Okay, John, this is two things I got to explain to you. The reason LA has smog is because it sits in a valley.
It's in a valley.
There. Okay, and it doesn't have any place to go, so everything just kind of accumulates over the city. Meanwhile, here in Nueva York and basically the rest of the nation, it just gets pushed out, gets pushed to the east. We send it to Europe. There you go. Bye-bye. So anyway, so WKRP does this big turkey promotion. Les Nessman, the winner of the Buckeye News Award multiple times, is out there on location. A helicopter arrives. Things start falling out of the helicopter. Turns out they're turkeys. Live turkeys. At the very end of the show, Arthur Carlson, the station manager, walks in and says one of the most famous lines ever on TV. As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
Guess I had to be there.
You really did have to be. You need to look this up. I am very disappointed. I put this together. I thought, oh, John's going to get a hoot and a holler and a kick out of this.
Hell, have you ever in the nearly 4 years that we've been doing this show?
Don't talk to me.
Have you ever heard me mention WKRP? Not even a reference to Lonnie Anderson.
It's not like I talk about it every day. There's lots of things you haven't mentioned that you may know about. I find it hard to believe that there's any of them, but.
All right. I do want to put my serious pants on here for just a second. I did want to get into this in hour one where we tend to be a little bit more serious. And I know that after John and Ed versus the spread, we do kind of really slide off into the abyss here when it comes to. So I did want to get this out here. The other day, I had a chance to watch the ABC. I guess I think it was probably one of their 2020 segments, but they don't half the time don't call it 2020 anymore if it's a special topic. But they were talking about Breonna Taylor, and they actually had the body cams on, and they were interviewed. One of the cops involved. They interviewed a couple of other people through this process. And Ed, I got to tell you, man, I didn't realize just how what kind of an effect hearing that and seeing that would have on me. It was I tweeted this, and I honestly wasn't trying to be melodramatic, but I'll paraphrase this. That isn't that bad when you got to paraphrase your own tweets, but basically it was like ripping the scab off the wound, and now it's bleeding profusely in my heart. This really hit home. And some of the things on there, some of the miscarriages of justice, like the only charge the Kentucky Attorney General, the only charge that they said the grand jury could come up with was like reckless abandonment. You killed somebody out of a blind hail of gunfire. There was one shot fired, and that was by somebody that you startled. You woke up, you basically knocked their door in, and you startled somebody who were still half asleep. Hey, if I've got a gun under my pillow or under my mattress, I'm even going to get, even I don't even own a gun, and I'm going to get up and start shooting. And then the fact that they just sprayed bullets, indiscriminately sprayed bullets in there, killing Breonna. No, I got to thinking about this. It pissed me off even more yesterday, thinking, what if there was a kid in there too? No, she didn't have any kids, but what if she was babysitting somebody for somebody else, and that kid got caught in that hail of bullets? Christ, there was bullets that were up in the upstairs,
apartment.
Yeah. This was the most egregious. No, it probably wasn't intentional murder, but I'll be damned if it would have been. I mean, there have been drive-bys. Let me look at it. I'm not trying to justify anything with a drive-by shooting here, but there are people that have shot 1 or 2 bullets into somebody's house that hit the wrong target, and they're up on murder charges. It just goes to show you sometimes how justice just does not have it isn't fair and balanced like it should be, especially for African Americans. And Breonna Taylor was a beautiful, talented woman who she had a future ahead of her. She had if I remember correctly, she was working for 911 dispatch, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
And this young lady had a bright future, but they right away they assumed she apparently was friends with somebody that had a background, of drug dealing. But boy, they were going to make sure they just pursued that with diligence, to the point where they felt they needed to kick that door down because they swore that they were going to find drugs and guns and whatnot in there. As I understand it, there were none of the above found in that.
No, they were at the wrong place.
Oh, that's what it was too. They went to the wrong place. Oh my God, that makes it even. I forgot. I remember hearing that, and quite frankly, in my emotion, I actually forgot about that fact that they did say they were at the wrong place. And you wonder why African Americans. You wonder why they're pissed. You wonder why they're marching. People get pissed off. Oh, they're marching down my street. Oh, I can't get to the bar because they're blocking the street. Oh my God.
And they want me to wear a mask too.
Oh no. My friends, I got to tell you, that was rough. Watching George Floyd and watching that cop grind his knee into George Floyd's back of his neck was hard enough to watch, but listening to and hearing what was going down with Breonna Taylor and the total indiscriminate, it's worse than having somebody that has a AR-15. You have an AR-15 because you can shoot off rounds almost indiscriminately. You don't have to worry about being accurate with your shot. You just shoot up enough shot. Eventually something's going to get hit, but it was the same thing. 30 different damn shots going into that apartment. It was, and I got to tell you, and you wonder why they're calling for, things as radical as defunding the police. Now, I don't believe in defunding the police. I believe in retraining the police. Restructure. Yeah, yeah. And if they're against that, well, then go find a job flipping burgers or some goddamn thing. I'm telling you, good police officers understand that not everything is peachy keen here, and things do need to change. And God, I just hope down deep inside, one of the things that bothers me is that, they're talking about the rise in crime here, and you just can't help but wonder. Yes, we're down a few cops here. There's a few cops that have retired, and they're not, and it just doesn't seem like the cops are. The police presence just isn't what it used to be, and I just hope like hell that they're not getting something like they're from this Kroll, the guy that's in charge of the police federation, isn't saying, well, just hey, lay low, boys. Let's let some of this kind of, hey, we don't care if they kill themselves, kill each other or whatnot. And the only cops you see out there are the ones that are just actually care about their job and are still trying to do their job despite all of this. And I just hope that's not the case. But oh my God, it's just beginning to seem like that. And I am that it was tough to watch. It was really tough to watch this whole thing. And then you tell yourself, well, it is Kentucky. It's the place that brought you Mitch McConnell, one of the poorest states in the union, even though it's one of the reddest states in the union. It's just sad. It's sickening, is what it is, really. And I honestly hope that we can have justice in the case of Breonna Taylor, in the case of George Floyd and others. So,
well said, John. And just let me add here that, and now the second toughest thing today will be making this transition to football picks.
Well, we can ease into that if you like.
Oh, we're gonna go. Look, everything. I'm with you on everything you said there. We'll.
And I'm sorry, I did not want to go Debbie Downer, but unfortunately, I just did not think I was going to be able to, because how we get. After picks, we kind of slide, and next thing you know, hey, guess what? It's 11:55, and we ain't got time to do shit.
It's okay. I have very low expectations for you. Well, the people on the video saw that, and no. No. And with that.
Anyways. Well, hey, take it like a man.
I usually do. I'm getting there. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for John and Ed versus the Spread, your weekly foray into the exciting world of pigskin prognostication. Each week, John, go for it. Shannon and I will each choose 3 professional football games and select winners using the point spread. At the end of the season, the winner will claim possession of the Radio TFI Gilchrist Ceremonial Sippy Cup, not responsible for post office mess-ups. Extra points can be earned by going for it with a 2 or 3 point conversion, if you have the nerve. Today, this man has the nerve. Ladies and gentlemen, kids and kittens, it's John and Ed versus the Spread. Well. Here we are again for another fantastic week of picking football games, and young Mr. Shannon has taken a lead. He's taken the gosh darn lead.
It's taken long enough, but the cream has finally starting to rise to the top now.
Something's rising to the top. I can't speak to what it is. But lo and behold, look at it right there on your screens, kids and kittens. John Shannon leads 17-16. Well, let's take a look at last week's. It's not. I have to. This is not. My apologies. My apologies.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, this is not going well at all. Not at all. There we go. I think that's the one I wanted. That's the one I wanted.
Okay.
And, we're getting there. There we go. That's the one I wanted. So last week, what a week. What a week. Let's see. John Shannon picked up 2 big points. 2 big points. His new pals, the Green Bay Packers, let him down by almost getting spanked by them there Jacksonville Jaguars. Who helped you last week, John? My Miami Dolphins. That's who helped you last week.
Told you I'm a fan.
Speaking of my Miami Dolphins, they kind of let me down last week by I went for 2 with them. It was there. It was there. Near the end of the game. It was close. There was like 14, 15 points. I'm like, go Fins. Also, one of us had the nerve to finally go for 3. I wanted the Cardinals. I took the Cardinals, went for 3, gave up 20.5 points, and they lost by 2. I thought for sure that they were going to run all over the Bills last week. I thought for sure. And, of course, wait a minute. I actually won a game last week. Oh, no, I didn't win a game last week. My Brownies let me down.
By the way, you got the score wrong on that game.
Which game?
The Arizona-Buffalo game.
It was 32-30.
Arizona won that game in the last second.
Huh?
Arizona won that game. It wasn't obviously by 20.5 points, but Arizona wound up winning that game.
Yeah, but it doesn't change anything for us. You still won the game.
Change anything. Yeah, I still won it, but Arizona. I don't even know if that was the correct score or not, but yeah, last second touchdown pass gave Arizona the win.
Oh, then you might have lost that game. I'm going to have to.
No, you had that as a 20.5 point spread.
I'm talking about you. You took that game also. You took Buffalo. We'll talk about it off air.
Oh no, I won. There was a 3.5 point spread. Arizona won by 2.
Okay, well, we'll just leave that be for right now. We'll have the judges look into
You want to recount? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
You know, I didn't want to use the word. Let me get Rudy on the phone here. We'll have him come in and should I not be using Dominion to count the points at the end of the?
I don't know. I think I got it right, but hey, you're welcome to it. It was less than a half a point margin, so you can.
I got 6 people in here counting points right now. So, all right, let's move on. John Shannon, let's here we are. It's week 11 already, kids and kittens. How the hell did that happen? John Shannon, let's start with your first pick of the week.
Well, I see that the Green Bay Packers traveling to Indianapolis are a 1.5 point they are 1.5 point underdog against those Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to take the Packers getting 1.5 points for that.
All right. My first pick of the week is I'm taking those Tennessee Titans getting 6 points against the Ravens in Baltimore. The Ravens, if they're not the only team, they're one of only 2 teams that I have not picked at all yet this year. So I'm not going to start now. I'm taking Ryan Tannehill. I like him. I've always liked him. I loved him when he was with the Dolphins. I was sorry to see him go. I'm happy to see him succeeding in Tennessee. And I say they're able to cover that this week. Big John Shannon, you're up. Game 2.
Game 2, I am going with the Minnesota Vikings. I didn't pick the Vikings or the Chiefs last week.
No, you did not.
And so this week,
I think one of them was off last week.
Well, yeah, that's right. The Chiefs were off, so that's probably why I didn't pick them. Hey, they didn't lose. They
the same thing.
Yeah. So the Vikings are 7-point favorites hosting the Dallas Cowboys. I figured, what the hell, I haven't gone for 2 in a while, so I'm going to take the Vikings, giving up 14 points against the hapless Dallas Cowboys.
John's new word. His favorite new word is hapless.
Yes, indeed.
We used the same word. Actually, I had to give you the word last week for Jacksonville. My second pick is my Brownies host the Philadelphia Eagles from the nobody wants to win NFC East division. The Browns are 2.5-point favorites. I like the way they've been playing this year.
I actually like that one. That is the sound pick, and that would have been if I'd have thought more. That might have been a
thought about it.
Went for 2 on that one.
Thought about it long and hard, but I'm still kind of licking my wounds from the past couple of weeks. So I'm 0-6 the last 2 weeks. So I got to start.
You got to start from floor 1 here. Actually, you're starting from the basement, but.
Yeah.
All right, pick number 3 for me. Pick number 3 again. I don't know why all of a sudden I am enamored with these Miami Dolphins. It's just something. I don't know what it is, man.
How about they're playing well? How about that?
It isn't that I like Florida. I mean, Ed saw that tweet that I put up there with Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
But anyways, the Dolphins are 3.5-point favorites going into Denver. I am taking the Miami Dolphins, giving up 3.5 points.
Me too.
Oh, that's right.
And then the couple of years we've been doing this, I rarely take the Dolphins. But now I've taken them, I put them on I take them on my personal picks, but not on the air, not in John and Ed versus spread. This is 2 weeks running. Why, kids and kittens? Because they're playing well.
They are playing football.
I think 3.5 points in Denver. Denver's just lucky to show up every week. And by the way, as a side note, the Jets had to fly out to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. That's 9.5 points. And on my personal picks, I took the Chargers. I mean, the Jets are Sam Darnold's out. They got problems. The
only thing that the Dolphins, which every visiting team has when they go to Denver, is having to deal with that altitude, where you see half the damn players there on the bench are sucking oxygen.
Right.
That may be the only thing that stops Miami.
I doubt it, though.
By the way, here, Rolando was nice enough to share his picks with us here again. So,
we still doing that?
Well, what the hell? I mean, come on. He takes the time to do it. Let's go ahead and read them off here. The Patriots. He's taking the Patriots -2 over the Houston Texans. I think that's a fairly safe bet.
That's a good pick.
Cleveland -2 at 2.5.
That's my pick. Yes, a good pick.
Yeah, that I think that's a safe. I do think that's a safe pick. And the Packers giving up 1. Rolando, will you quit copying my point?
By the way, on the big board here, I got you taking Indianapolis. I got to change that.
Oh, do I really? See, that's what I went with.
I put the indicator in the wrong place. No, the points are in the right place. If you're looking at the screen for John right now, it says the indicator is next to Indianapolis, but that'll be changed. He actually picked Green Bay. So to recap, Rolando did whatever he did. John's taking Green Bay.
You are not a nice man. You're lucky he still listens to this show.
I love you, Rolando. I love you. He doesn't call anymore. He writes, but he doesn't call. Well, anyway, week 11 here. John Shannon takes the Green Bay Packers, gets 1.5 going into the whatever it's called dome there in Indianapolis. John goes for 2 with his Vikings. Gives up 14 big points against a Dallas Cowboy team that I swear to God the cheerleaders will be playing today. I honestly believe they're going to dig up the corpse of Don Meredith and Too Tall Jones just to have people in there. Leon, where's Leon Lett?
Too Tall Jones, yes.
Yeah. I'm taking Tennessee, getting 6 points against them there Ravens, former Cleveland Browns, taking the real Browns, giving up 2.5 points against the hapless, there's that word again, Philadelphia Eagles. And finally, both John and I are taking my Miami Dolphins in Denver against those Broncos, giving up 3.5 points, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, by the way, just as a note here, let me see if I can't get out of this without it looking too creepy. I got to figure out how to do this again. By the way, our Thanksgiving picks, which I had said would happen today, we can't do it because we don't have the lines. We don't have the line, the point spreads. So what we're going to do, we'll pick them off air, probably, as John said, Thursday night sometime. That's when John's going to send his picks, Thursday night.
Yep.
But we're going to do them off air, and we'll be going over them. So we'll have 6 games to go over next week. It'll be an expanded segment. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids and kittens, that concludes. John, by the way, if you're going to use our picks to further your gambling career, John, what do we say about stuff like that?
Well, personally, like I've been saying all along here, speak for yourself. Because you ride this train right here, you ride on this and jump on my shoulders, pal.
Oh, you're taking responsibility now for people gambling away their money?
Hey.
Are you for real? What kind of... All right, just remember that. That is John Shannon, not Ed, not Radio TFI, not the Taxi Stand Hour. That is John Shannon personally making that claim. So I'm going to finish it by saying, if you follow me and my picks, you cuckoo go nuts out of your brain. Don't do it, man. I wouldn't put money on my picks. John?
5-6 in the last 2 weeks.
That's the last 2 weeks, man.
It took me, it was like my preseason. The first few weeks were kind of my preseason here. I had to get warmed up here. Now,
is that what it is?
That's what it is. And by the way, Rolando says, who the hell, where do you come up with the nickname, the Red Rifle? Obviously, he's referring to Andy Dalton, who is the quarterback du jour now for the Cowboys.
I thought he got hurt too.
He did. He went through concussion protocol. And I think also COVID, if I'm not mistaken. But he's...
All right, well, let me wrap this up. Ladies and gentlemen, kids and kittens, that concludes John and Ed versus the spread for this week. John's going to lose money for you.
The Red Rifle. Good Lord. So he thinks that 14 points is too much of a spread there for the Vikings. I think...
Well, that's the whole point. You're taking a risk. You're giving up more to get more.
Yeah, exactly. I think that Dalvin Cook, it's gonna be like Hulkamania. It's gonna be running wild. Dalvin Cook's gonna run for 200. Easily. The only problem is Dalvin Cook's gonna be running the football so much there may not be that many big plays. And that might be where 14 points might be hard to come by, but
that's why they call it gambling. That's why they call it gambling and not winning.
Yeah, this is very, very true. Absolutely. 754-800-CHAT, 754-800-2428 is the number if you would like to jump on board. Haven't said this in a little while, but you can also call and leave a message or send a text message if you're listening to this via Memorex. So feel free. We love your opinion. We definitely love the board here, watching the board here on our little social media hangout here, which may be -1 here after a while because it's getting to the point where almost what's the point? But we'll talk about that off air here later. YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. No, we're going to keep it because there's no reason not to. It doesn't hurt us. It's there. It's already set up. and we just let it roll. Just leave it. Just turn the key. All we got to do is push the button once a week. We're not going to do anything else.
Well, this is true.
But I want to. We spoke about this at the very start of the show, which seems to be like a week and a half ago. This person.
Hey, this is Chris Murphy, and you found the Taxi Stand Hour on Radio TFI.
So Chris Murphy, who was an acquaintance of John's, helped us out with some station IDs. And John is a radio John's not a radio professional. Chris is a radio professional.
Speak for yourself.
I'm speaking for you. So he was nice enough to give us some station IDs. And by the way, any of our friends of the show, we would love to mix up our rotation of promos and station IDs. We'd love to have everybody just give us a little thing. We put a little script up on the website, radiotfi.com. It'll take you right to it. You record it in any manner you want. Leave a message on our phone number. You can leave a message at 754-800-CHAT, 754-800-2428. Send us an MP3, whatever, video it, and we'll pull the audio off it. You can send it to Twitter at Taxi Stand Hour, but we'd really love to, have a special friends of the show, new and old. We'd love to mix it up. But Chris was nice enough to send us four different station IDs, if you will, and we're going to play them now. They're going to go into our regular rotation tonight. Today, actually, they will enter the regular rotation, and I'm going to save my personal favorite for last. And John will tell us how he hooked up. But give us a brief before we get going here. A brief history of you and Chris.
Before I do that, here, Rolando said something to the effect: "Finally, call and you guys screen the call." I don't quite know what you mean. Is the phone up and running here? Is it plugged in?
The phone is up and running.
Huh. Weird.
Stand by. Go ahead, Johnny. You keep doing what you're doing.
Okay. Well, talking about Chris Murphy here now. Chris and a friend of his from now he's doing radio in Madison, Wisconsin. Sean Preble had a show here in the Twin Cities simply called Preble and Murphy. He says went to voice, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm fixing it now.
Oh, that's what it was. So anyways, we good show, good, they didn't go off the deep end one way or another as far as politics went or anything like that. Good common sense radio. And radio is a bitch of a business. That's why I kind of like what we do here, because we're not subservient to anybody here. We do what we want when we want it. I have to worry about anybody canceling us. So
I don't have to worry.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about anything either. I know how to operate this bad boy. Not as masterful as you, but I do know how to wing through it. But anyways, they wound up getting canceled. Actually, part of it was because that particular station went from a talk radio station to a sports station, which they pretty much suck at. Now they've had to change their name. Now they call themselves.
Hold on. John, we have Orlando on the phone.
Hello.
Hello.
There he is.
Anybody home?
Yes.
Can you not hear us?
Holy smokes. Technical difficulties.
Well, we can hear you, Pally boy. Oh, well, there you go. Hey, Orlando, we'll try it again some other time. I don't know what happened there, but we'll try it again. Go ahead, John. Finish what you were saying.
Well, anyways, yeah, that particular station now has gone not only through a format change, but now they're a name change, trying to get their scratch and claw their little share of the sports broadcasting market. But that's neither here nor there. Preble and Murphy was one of the best shows I had heard in a long time here, and I've listened to talk radio for many years. And they wound up going their separate ways. Like I said, Sean went to Madison, and Chris, he went to Springfield. Well, Chris and I had always had maintained a pretty good friendship, even after he left. The state, and he's been on a couple of the old blog talk radio shows I used to do, and he's come on with. I'd called into his station a couple of times, and we've, it's just been one of those type of, long distance friendships that you value. And he was one of the first ones when we put up this request to have people call or sending us a recording, giving us a little station ID, a little station promo, a little love there. He was the first, and quite frankly, at this point, the only one to raise his hand and gave us material.
Hang on, John, because we're going to try Orlando once again. We had changed our how we do the show, and technically speaking, and
you see, he's never happy with anything. So
I had forgotten to change the settings. So we're going to try this again with
Ron. So every time something else is what happens. And
yeah. Now he's not going to answer.
He's not going to answer.
Any more technical difficulties, gentlemen? Resolved.
Well, I think it's been resolved.
Oh, good. We're in.
Yeah, we're in. Yeah. How are you?
Gents, I just wanted to call and wish you both a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
And your loved ones. That was my main intent of this phone call. Just happy that John's Annie made it back home.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Congrats, Johnny.
Thank you.
And Ed,
I got to behave myself again.
You got to stop this offer streak.
No kidding,
I got one of your picks.
Oh man, you better believe me. This is the week.
We got to turn that around.
This is the week we turn around. By the way, young man.
Anyhow,
By the way, young man.
That's what I wanted to do.
No. You don't
wish you all the best.
Thank you, but you don't get away that easy.
But it's good hearing you this morning.
Thank you.
I'm kind of a little out of breath from my little asthma attack, so.
Oh well, take it easy. Can you?
I haven't been really wanting to call.
All right, Rolando.
So, anyway,
listen to me.
God bless you both.
Can he hear me?
And it's we'll be listening. When's your next show? Is it just on Sunday now?
Just Sundays now.
Sundays. All right.
Can he hear me?
Ask him if he can hear me.
Rolando, can you hear Ed at all?
No.
Oh, I tell him where.
Just you.
Tell
anyway, all right, Johnny.
Tell him we're expecting
Take
audio
care.
from him.
All right, take it easy. Thanks for calling.
Okay, thanks for not doing that. Why didn't
I'll send him a text. He did. He sounded a little winded, so I think I'm not gonna bother him just quite yet.
All right, so let's
issues with asthma here, and so I'm a little concerned with him. He did sound quite a bit winded.
Yeah, well, we appreciate the call. Well, you attempted to call, and I don't know why he couldn't hear me. Of course, some people would say that's not a horrible thing. Remember, I once went a stretch where my vocal cords were bruised and could barely speak for a month, and there were parades in the street. So anyway, let's get to Chris Murphy. We're going to play these station IDs for you. And again, the last one is my favorite. Let's start out with our first one.
Hey, this is Chris Murphy, and you found the Taxi Stand Hour on Radio TFI.
By the way, you can use this as a template. That's exactly the script that we put up on the website, and you can do anything beyond that. Say who you are, what you do. We don't care. We'll use it all. We're going to use most of it.
Hey, this is Chris Murphy, and you're listening to my buddies John and Ed. Unless John isn't there, then it's Ed and somebody, or unless Ed isn't there, then it's Ed. You found the Taxi Stand Hour on Radio TFI.
And then there's this one.
Hi, this is Chris Murphy, the second most famous person in Springfield, Illinois, and you found the Taxi Stand Hour on Radio TFI.
Now, this is my favorite, I believe, John. I'd be safe to assume this is your favorite as well. This will get a lot of play.
Hi, this is Chris Murphy, and you found the Taxi Stand Hour. And if you're sitting in an Uber right now, get out of that Uber before I gouge your eyes out. This is Radio TFI.
I love that one. I loved once again, Chris Murphy. Thank you, WMAY in Springfield, Illinois. We thank you very much for your participation in this. And again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids and kittens, we would certainly appreciate everybody. Just again, it's just, we get a little love, we give you a little love back. Look, a little bit of John and Ed and Gerald goes a very long way. So, we'd love to spice up. By the way, just a reminder, no Christmas music on Radio TFI this year. No Christmas music. We're not against it. We're just going to be the guys that don't play it. There's plenty of places.
Speak for yourself. Any radio station I tune to that goes to Christmas music, click. Listen.
There's plenty out there. We're not doing it.
If I haven't made it clear, I am not a Christmassy type guy. Not a fan.
You're one white beard and two elves short of Santa Claus.
Yeah, well, say what you will. Say what you will. I'm just not a huge Christmas person here, and I don't want to bore anybody to tears as to why. And
thank you, Gilchrist.
There might even be a person or two that might tell me to get over it, but
I would tell you to get over it. Just remember my favorite color is blue. And get me a PS5.
That's right. Rolando says, "What a Grinch!" I'm wearing the green jacket just for you, Rolando. You bet your sweet Biffy.
But anyway, so yeah, we're not doing the Christmas. We might throw a few funny songs in there, but nothing of.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
I don't know about that.
Walking home from our house Christmas Eve.
There's a lot. Well, there's one for sure. That's going to get played, and there's a lot of funny stuff out there, and a lot of it goes from the Dr. Demento days, which is where I heard a lot of this stuff for the first time. And we did a bunch of this last week. We played some of the stuff that we might play, and some of the stuff that we would love to play. But your Bing Crosby stuff, although I gotta say,
I like Bing Crosby. I like Bing. My parents wore the vinyl off of that particular Merry Christmas Bing Crosby.
I gotta say,
vinyl off that LP.
I gotta say, I was in the supermarket yesterday, and Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You," and I gotta say, that is probably the only one that I truly, truly enjoy. That is such an infectious song.
Over Mariah Carey, that's all.
Well, and here's one, getting back to it, here's one you will most definitely hear, and we're going to give you a little preview now.
And now, here with a special Christmas message, the immortal Elvis.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. This here is the King. I know I haven't been around much for a while, but I want y'all to know that up here in rock and roll heaven, I'll be thinking of you this Christmas. And I'd like to give y'all a special Christmas message. A message of peace. Like, how about a little piece of that pie going by? Thank you. Thank you very much. Like I was saying, Christmas is a time of hope, a time of joy, a time for loving. And I sure would love a big slice of that pizza you got there. Okay, thank you very much. No worry about it. Oh yeah, Christmas. Now, Christmas to me means family. And family means friends. And friends means getting together. And getting together means eating. Oh, pass me that drumstick, would you please? Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And I just want to say to you right now, you know, I may be a big star, maybe too big, but ain't nobody so big you can't reach out a helping hand. Would you hand me a helping of those mashed potatoes over there, would you please? Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, like I was saying, ain't nobody so big you can't stoop to help a friend in need over the holiday season. Now, speaking of season, you want to pass me that salt shaker when you get the chance? Thank you. Yeah, just unscrew the cover. That's right. Thank you. Thank you very much. So this Christmas, why don't y'all take a tip from old Elvis? No, leave those steak tips right where they are. You know what I mean? No, I appreciate it. Thank you. I want you to remember, we're all part of God's great big family. And you know God made man unto his own image. And look in the mirror, I'd have to say God must be a big, big son of a gun. You know what I mean? I think you do. But I especially want y'all to remember this one last thing. When you're all at home this Christmas, stringing that popcorn up on the tree, save a big, big bowl for the king. Extra butter, know what I mean? I think you do. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That is the King's Christmas message, which you will hear. That's by Bob Rivers. You will hear
him licking his fingers.
Oh, a big son of a gun. Oh, we did this. We knew this routine by heart down in that South FLA. Neil Rogers played this. Played it all year long. It didn't have to be Christmas, but that's one of my favorite bits. And Bob Rivers has a bunch of stuff that you just don't know you know. But anyway, yeah, so no Christmas. That's the kind of Christmas stuff we'll be doing. It's just the funny, amusing stuff. And that's it. That's all I got, John.
Well, I do have one more story that...
I'm sorry, we're out of time, but thanks for playing our game.
Jesus, you're something else. So I don't know. Did you hear the news that the UK is moving to end sales of all non-electric cars by 2035 now?
That was California.
No, the UK. This is Boris Johnson.
I understand that, but I'm saying also California is doing the same thing.
I don't know how they're going to do it.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, look, I'm not saying that it won't be good for the environment. By all means, I think it'd be great for the environment. We might have a few less cases of asthma or aggravated cases of asthma, if you will, here. But there is one individual that actually had a little bit of a perspective on the matter. And this is a cab driver. I don't think he's from London, but he is in the UK. So let's give a listen to one man's opinion on this matter.
So, just listening to Ian Collins on Talk Radio. Good show this afternoon, as always. Geezer on there rings up, got a Tesla. Beautiful. Singing its praises. How much did it cost? Ian asks him. £73,000, the man asks. Very nice. Lovely. The average working family in this country can't splash out 73 grand on a Tesla. There are cheaper models available now, and there are cheaper EVs, right? But the average family is barely getting by spending out 2 or 3 grand, right, for a car that will get them from A to B, kids to school, work, do the shopping, what they need it for, They're barely getting by putting like 10, 20 quid's worth of fuel in it a week, right? Because they really have to scrimp and save, and they just about keep it on the road. So it's all right, people saying everyone must go out and buy EVs. You won't be able to buy a second-hand one because the batteries will be shagged, right? And you're talking north of 4,000 quid to replace the batteries, right? It ain't going to happen, okay? They need to be developing the next form of power, okay? Forget batteries, forget battery technology, highly environmentally horrible, to be fair, and you can't dispose of them that easily, okay? So it's all right, Boris, Green New Deal, EVs, cancel the sale of petrol and diesel vehicles by 2030, right? We ain't ready for it yet. The average family's not ready for it. Something big's going to have to happen, all right? Get your heads out of your arses, all you people in Westminster, right? And go and talk to the average people. And I'm not talking people in Berkshire, Hertfordshire, Surrey, parts of Kent, Bedfordshire, Oxfordshire, places where there's money, right? Come down to the southwest and talk to the average family on the street, right? Go to parts of Wales, go to parts of the north where it's deprived, go to parts of East Anglia where it's quite deprived, right? They can't afford it, okay? You take.
That was it for that.
Well, he makes a very valid point about, and we only got a couple minutes here. He makes a very valid point about the energy source. I don't understand why we're not working on hydrogen, because what that puts out is water. That's what comes out of the quote unquote exhaust pipe is water.
See, and I have no idea how a hydrogen engine would even work.
Well,
I don't know. I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying I know nothing about it.
Well, actually, I had come close at one point, except I couldn't find any place to refill my vehicles, to fuel my vehicles. We would have, you could get your engine converted, any car, for like $1,000. The problem was there was no place to go to refuel the only place in Broward County where I was county-owned properties for county vehicles. Otherwise, I would have converted my whole fleet to hydrogen.
So Broward County did have hydrogen-powered vehicles in it.
Yeah, county vehicles, absolutely. And again, the only after effect of that is water. Remember, what's water? H2O. What's the H? Hydrogen. It is the cleanest, at least practically speaking. Now, I don't know the details about actually getting hydrogen or how you make it or how you produce it or blah, blah, blah. But he's right about batteries. I mean, you're going to spend a fortune. What do you do with them when they're done?
You have to ship them off to the moon, blast them off, put them on the moon or something like that. Seriously.
Now you're talking. And, that's the problem. Now, the idea of not selling cars that function off of fossil fuels, yeah, that makes sense. Now, at least in California, the deal is not you can't own a car like that. Just any new cars will have to be alternative fuels.
I think this is what they're saying in the UK as well.
Right. I mean, that would be absurd to make everybody just suddenly at one point have to ditch their cars. But batteries are not it. Electric is not it. Now, if you can get electric, if you can get the hydrogen engine to produce electricity, which apparently you can because there's electric, items in the car, then fine, because, it runs the alternator, blah, blah, blah. But electric is not the long-term answer. Without question, it is not the long-term answer.
Oh, I think the thing that I don't know if this just goes for new car sales. Can you resell after 2035 or after 2030 or whenever the target date is? Can you resell a gasoline-powered engine?
Yes, you can.
What you're going to wind up doing is you're going to wind up people just like anything else when it comes to
perpetuating it. People will do everything they can to keep those engines going.
And the longer you go, the worse it gets as far as the exhaust and all that. So that music in the background tells me it's time to go bye-bye. So I guess it's time to say bye-bye. From the Northern Fan Studio in Eagan, Minnesota, for my great friend, Mr. Ed Van Ness, I'm John Shannon. That's funny.
See ya!
If you keep on talking, baby, you know you're bound to drive me away. Yes, if you keep on talking, baby, you know you're bound to drive me away. Yes. Yes, dear. Yes, I'm listening. Oh, I heard every word you said, honey. Yes. Yes, dear. Oh, I agree. You're right. Yeah, you're always right, baby. Yes, dear.